Hey guys, Marsing here bringing you a Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video, and so today we're going to be looking at the World Tournament EZA for this DB Saga Max Power Jackie Chun. Now, he got his EZA with this World Tournament, but annoyingly he is one of the units from the DB Saga banner, so you don't get extra copies of him as like the guaranteed rewards for getting like the 20 wins and stuff like that. So unfortunately he's one of those characters that if you don't have him, you just have to summon with those tickets on the DB Saga banner and hope that you get him. I did manage to get an extra dupe for mine, so mine is 90%, because obviously these units can be very hard to get, so don't have him rainbow just yet, but gone for a bit of an additional and dodge build. He's got a little bit of crit, he's kind of got a little bit of everything. Obviously that was done before his EZA, so we'll see how viable that still is. But his super attack is the Kamehameha, greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, does supreme damage to the enemy and greatly lowers defense, and then he gets 3 ki and 100% attack and defense, gives all allies 3 ki, then he gives Kamehameha allies 40% attack, DB Saga allies 40% defense, and then Earthlings allies 5% crit chance. So obviously if the character is a Kamehameha DB Saga Earthling character, they get 3 ki, 40% attack and defense, and 5% chance to crit, which is pretty good. At the start of each turn, he gets an extra 50% attack and defense up to 150%. When he's attacking, he gets 150% attack and defense, as long as he has 12 or more ki. When there's a Turtle School category ally on the team, which there is, he randomly changes ki spheres of a certain type, physical excluded, to rainbow, so he's a rainbow orb changer. For every rainbow ki sphere obtained, he gets 10% damage reduction. And then when HP is 50% or less, 1 time only, he changes all physical orbs to rainbow, gets 150% extra attack, has a high chance to crit, and gives all allies attack and defense 20% for 3 turns. So we're running him on the Kid Goku team. The Turtle School ally is the Daima Goku, because funnily enough, all of the like Kid Gokus on this team are not on Turtle School yet. So we just have to go from there. I want to make sure he gets... The problem is when you make too many rainbow orbs, right? Because I want to give him as many rainbow orbs as possible. But because there's rainbow orbs all over the field now. So there we go. We can get 4. So that's pretty good. So he's going to have 40% damage reduction. He's got 163k defense start of turn, which is obviously not very good. But he gets 150% on super. So he's going to get, what, an extra 240. He's going to go up to about 400. That's before his super attack effect. So it's going to be about 500k defense with 40% damage reduction, which, I mean, realistically, that's not very good. That's with support from Bulma and Chi-Chi on this rotation as well. But remember, he does build up a little bit with each turn that passes, so he is going to look better on the next turn and then slightly better on the turn after that as well. He's a unit that will, of course, benefit greatly from having like the physical path to power Kid Goku on the rotation and giving that support an extra little bit of damage reduction as well. But yeah, let's see what he's going to do here damage-wise. Okay, 8 million. I mean, it's not bad, I guess, for a free-to-play character. This guy has a damage threshold, though, and apparently that means he doesn't do any damage with an 8 million attack stat. That's kind of funny. I thought we'd use him in the DB Saga Red Zone Stage 3, the Red Ribbon Army one, because obviously this stage has a mission to use Dragon Ball Saga characters, so obviously it's useful to see if he's good in this stage, because obviously this would be a pretty solid place to use him, potentially. I think we'll just use Kid Goku's active skill straight away, get the heal, get the permanent buff. Then we can go ahead and do this. We'll keep Daima Goku on the rotation. Like, he doesn't need orbs, so he can literally just do that. And then obviously Kid Goku in slot 3 only needs 5 orbs now to get his full support for the rotation when in slot 3. It's obviously very, very good. But yeah, Daima Goku, of course, gives a buff for 2 turns to allies' attack with his super attack, so that will buff the units on the next rotation offensively as well. We probably can kill him this turn here. Of course, Goku only getting additional normals is really annoying, but Daima Goku, actually to be fair, Daima Goku starts out pretty slow and has to build up. Path to power Kid Goku can hit relatively hard, but yeah, if these guys are doing 0 damage, that's not ideal. Second super though means second attack buff for the rotation. Still not enough for Daima Goku to do damage though. Alright, so what's Path to Power Kid Goku going to do here with the double buff from him? Yeah, 20 mil. That's a bit more like it. Can we finish him off here? If we get the additional, we will. Yeah, let's go. 22. Yeah, Part of Power Kid Goku is really, really good. Need to try him out on some other teams as well, like, because he's not necessarily going to be supporting with like his normal support passive if we're not running him with like DB Saga or youth characters, but giving that extra little bit of damage reduction and the fact that he can hit really hard is obviously very beneficial. So, alright, so we'll keep this Kid Goku here. Let's let him go slot 1. Because, yeah, he's got guard, gets the 200% when he gets hit. Make sure. So what are you up to now? So you've got the extra little bit of stats. We haven't picked up Bulma's orbs yet, though. So obviously compared to last turn, like that is going to jump up a little bit. We can get the 4 rainbow orbs for him again. So 40% damage reduction. He's also got type advantage on this turn. And we grab the orbs for you. Gives everyone the little bit of support. Everybody's got the extra support from the Daima Goku double supering on the previous turn as well. Look at that, Kid Goku coming in clutch, double digit tanking the normals and then dodging the super. Love to see that. But yeah, that's the one thing as well to point out as well. People might, you might look at this and say, oh, doesn't he only get a 170 lead from Kid Goku, this Jackie Chun? And that is true, he does. But I feel like out of teams that are actually being run at the moment, like this is the only team you're going to run him on, right? Because if I've got the page up here on Dokkan Info. If we take a look at his 200% leaders, in terms of like the DB Saga characters, it's only Roshi, who of course STR Roshi is pretty much like power creep kind of killed him off. I only just got my first copy of him from this Kid Goku banner, and he has died multiple times in like the red zone stages for me. 23rd World Tournament Goku and Int Yamcha, who obviously are very outdated at this point. Same with the Battle of Wits 200% Carnival STR Goku. The only other one is the Family Kamehameha Gohan, because obviously he's a 200% lead for Kamehameha. And this guy, I guess you could run him on that team as a support unit, because he is giving attack support to Kamehameha characters. And then obviously there's not going to be really any other DB Saga or Earthlings if you're running that sort of Family Kamehameha Gohan team with a bunch of other like Super Saiyan Gokus and stuff like that. Obviously with a Goku on the team, that's a Turtle School ally, so he's still going to have the orb changing, he can still get the damage reduction. So he could be kind of useful, I guess, as an attack support. But I just think that with all the options that the DB Saga team has, or sorry, the like Kamehameha team has, if you were running like the 200% team with Family Kamehameha Gohan as the leader, there's just so many other better options than running this Roshi as like a floating slot 3 support, who of course, that's the other thing, if he's a slot 3 character and therefore he's the last one to pick up orbs, you're fighting for those rainbow orbs with like everybody else on the rotation. So I do think that even though this team is only giving him the double 170 leads from the Kid Goku, this is probably like his best team like for the meta at the moment. So that's the team I decided to run him on. Obviously if you want to throw him on one of the 200% teams, his stats are going to be a little bit higher. It's a shame that the Kid Goku, being like the first DB Saga unit that we've got in a while, like if we don't count the Demon King Piccolo, like first DB Saga Dokkan Fest has a 220% lead. It's a shame it doesn't cover all of the DB Saga characters. The fact that the Roshis and Jackie Chuns aren't included, I think is a bit of a shame, because like STR Roshi definitely could have done with having a 220% lead for him to sort of hang on to any relevancy like in this new meta, but sadly he did not. So here we go ahead and do this. We get Guidance to the Dragon Balls, Incredible Adventure, and Kamehameha. So let's go ahead and we're going to be able to drop these down if we do this. Yeah, there we go. So we can get 3 orbs for him this time. So 30% damage reduction. He's got his full passive built up now as well, because this is his fifth turn in battle. So that 50% at the start of each turn. We've obviously had all of those. He's only got 162k defense start of turn though. So obviously when Goku picks up all of his orbs here, he's going to give everybody an extra little bit, the 8% attack and defense, as well as the 8% damage reduction. But yeah, his numbers definitely... Oh no. Well, misclick there. Good times. Yeah, his numbers are a bit low for like... Even getting 150% on super. Like, the damage reduction is nice, but obviously no guard. So, this guy, I think out of all 3 of the World Tournament EZAs, I remember, like, you know, I overlooked, when I read their details, obviously there was the issue with the Gotenks page opened up incorrectly, but I thought they all looked pretty bad. And now that we've done the showcases for them, I think Tech Gotenks is actually pretty good and could be useful in, like, the Festival of Battles thing as a stacker. He also could be good in that event if you want to run Kid Goku in that event, because then you actually have a youth ally on the team to proc his intro. But then when it comes to this guy, I mean, he's tanking this guy's normals for double-digit damage, but how hard does this guy hit for, General White? His normals do 700k, and we're tanking those for double digits, which is okay. But I think once we start getting up to even enemies doing 1,000,000 damage with their normals, like, this guy is going to struggle a little bit. And so compared to those other EZAs that we've gotten so far from this World Tournament, I do think this guy is certainly underwhelming, is definitely one way to put it, right? I don't know if I would say... Would I say he's straight up just bad? Maybe, in terms of difficult content. And this is the thing that we talked about. I talked about in one of the previous showcases as well. People always want me to be a little bit more, like, lenient when it comes to free-to-play characters. But I think the World Tournament ones, I tried to explain this in one of the previous videos, like, these World Tournament characters, especially the DB Saga banner ones, they're so difficult to get. You have to play the World Tournament and do the missions to get the tickets. Then you have to actually pull them off of the banner. Then obviously you have to play the World Tournament a certain amount to get the EZA medals, to EZA the characters in the first place. And so for a lot of people, because these units are difficult to pull off of that DB ticket banner, like, you might only have them at 55%. And it's kind of like Battlefield LRs, where I feel like these EZAs for these World Tournament characters, the DB Saga ones specifically, they should be designed to be runnable, like, at 55%, because a lot of people aren't going to have dupes for them. A lot of people aren't going to have them at all. I'm lucky that mine has the 3 dupes, but yeah, even mine isn't Rainbow. And with the amount that I play the World Tournament, right, doing the special World Tournament weekend events, obviously one of those, you know, we're on day 3 of that today. We will be live. This video will be going up at 2 PM UK time, so we will be live again in 2 hours for more World Tournament grinding. I grind the World Tournament a lot compared to, I would say, the average player. Obviously, there are people that go crazier than me, but... Oh, Roshi's locked in slot 3, okay. Well, that's annoying, because that means he isn't going to get to attack this turn. And then he's not going to come back for another 2 turns. But, I mean, we've seen him at basically his max numbers. This is with all the extra support from Chi-Chi. He's only at 180k start of turn. So, plus an extra 150% is another, like, 270. So, he's only going up to, what, like, 450-ish? Then he gets the greatly raise on his super. So he's going to be at around 5 to 600k defense. Then depending on how many orbs you pick up, like on this turn we can get 3 again. So he's going to be at around 5 to 600k defense with 30% damage reduction. What does he take? What does 1,000,000 damage do in that scenario? Because yeah, it'd be 1,000,000 minus 30% is still 700k. So if he's at 600k defense, he's still taking 100k. And if it's an extreme enemy, so they have the extreme versus super modifier, he's taking more than that. So obviously, considering in the meta now, super attacks are getting way, way higher, of course. But like, we're getting to the point where bosses are doing 1,000,000 damage normals. I mean, the final phase of this red zone is the Staff Officer Black, and he does 1,000,000 damage normals. And then does 3.5 on his super attack. So Jackie Chun would get absolutely destroyed by Staff Officer Black's super. If he gets a double super, then obviously he gets that little bit of extra defense as well. But it's not going to be enough to save him from some of these harder hitting characters, which obviously is a huge factor, right? Because if you're running him on the team, also with him getting 50% attack and defense every turn, I'm assuming that only counts for the turns that he's on rotation. Like when he appears, he gets the extra buff. Because if you float him off, then it's going to take even longer to get him built up. I'm actually not sure, and I don't know if there's a way to tell with the way those passives are worded. If somebody knows, let me know. Like, if you float him off, and then because he's been gone for 3 turns, when he comes back he has his full build-up, at least that is helpful. But, yeah, he's going to be a unit that, if he's floating on the team, he's providing some support to these guys, you know, that helps out everybody else. Like, even if his individual performance isn't crazy, you have to remember that for these characters, especially like the Kamehameha DB Saga units, they're getting 40% attack and defense, and he's giving everybody 3 key. So that's definitely very helpful. But the biggest problem is obviously just he himself is a bit of a liability. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of free-to-play, like, overall. Some people had some good points on one of the previous ones for these World Tournament videos about, like, the expectation for free-to-play characters shouldn't be that they are usable in the hardest content in the game, which I do think is probably fair, right? Because the hardest content is what we consider, what we would call, especially in other types of games, right, is what we would call end-game content. So that's the stuff you're meant to do when your account is like built up and you've like leveled up characters, you've got LRs awakened and all this crazy stuff. So free-to-play characters shouldn't necessarily be like, oh, these guys have to be usable in the hardest, like in the end game content, because once you get to that point, you should at that point have a team of like full summonable units, multiple LRs. Like, obviously the game, unless there are specific missions, is not designed around not making use of items and support memories and stuff like that. So I mean, this guy, you know, he's held his own so far through this stage, but you got to remember this is stage 3 of this DB Saga Red Zone. We've got at least 3 more to come. I think there were 3 in the data download, right, up to stage 6. Although that's versus Demon King Piccolo, so I feel like that probably will be the last one, because they don't consider Piccolo Jr. part of DB Saga, or at least the category. So I think it'd be weird if there was a final stage with him as the boss. I'm not sure. Actually, no, we know from the data download one of the missions after you beat stage 6 is clear all stages. Yeah, so there's 3 more stages to go. We don't know the stats of the bosses, but that's the thing. We know that against this Staff Officer Black, he potentially could struggle. I mean, what are we looking like here, start of turn? If we use Bulma's active skill, and then I probably should have picked up orbs of everybody else first, actually. Oh well. So we use Bulma's active skill, put you in slot 1, do that, and then we can get 2 rainbow orbs. That puts him to 210. So after supering, he's going to be at just over 500k without the super attack effects. But that still, I think, puts him in some pretty serious danger of taking damage from this guy's like super attack. I mean, his super attack is 3.5 million. So I say puts him in danger. Like, he just straight up gets one shot by this guy's super attack. But I would like to see him take a normal here and see how much he would take. Because, like I say, this guy's normals do 1 million damage. So he's up to 10 million on this turn, which, to be honest, with the massive buff that Bulma gives, isn't that crazy. Yeah, 148k from an attack that does 1 million damage. So now you bear in mind, like, bosses that are doing 3 to 4 million supers, he's going to get taken out. But, you know, he's a free-to-play character. He's on a very limited team, DB Saga. He's a very niche unit, being from that DB Saga banner. Let me know what you guys think of the full power Roshi down below in the comment section. Have you actually managed to get him? Do you have dupes for him? Like I say, I used all of my DB Saga tickets yesterday during the stream, and I think I pulled like I pulled a copy of him. I think that was like the only SSR that I actually pulled. So that banner, as we all know, is a nightmare to actually get, like, the units. So if you don't have this guy at all, like, I wouldn't be surprised. But let me know what you guys think of him down below in the comment section. Kid Goku tanking the 3.5 million type disadvantage super for double digit damage. We'd love to see that. And then dropping the 25 mil attacks. This is the rainbow friend Kid Goku. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of Jackie Chun down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.